We all know about cancer and common cancers. So, endometrial cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
Yeah.
These five cancers, people who drink coffee have a lower cancer mortality from these. So, five cancers: cirrhosis of the liver, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's dementia, the early stage of Alzheimer's called cognitive decline, low risk in coffee drinkers, low risk of type 2 diabetes. Here, both decaf and regular coffee work. And if you drink 4 to 6 cups, there's a 40 to 54% reduction in developing type 2 diabetes. And if one already has type 2 diabetes and they drink 2 cups, regular or decaf, there's a 30% reduction in cardiovascular mortality.
Beyond wine, we really care about health. The health of the planet and the health of each other. That's what inspired us to start this business. Our family of team members meets every morning for a group meditation, followed by an open gratitude session. We believe a sound mind with a focus on peace is the best instrument for change. Joint meditation is the cornerstone of our company culture, and it helps us remember what's important, spreading joy and love, just like our family growers. Our family is a collection of passionate, health-conscious individuals who love to laugh and enjoy each other's company. We eat seasonally, grow our own vegetables, cook together, and share wine. Our team is incredibly dedicated to our mission. Everything from sourcing the wines to answering service questions. Your natural wines are found and sourced around the world by our wine team. They taste every one, oversee their lab testing, and choose exactly which ones go in which box. If you order, your individual box will be packed by our incredibly hardworking fulfillment team. If you have any questions, your service requests will be handled by a wonderfully loving member experience family who only have one goal in mind, your 100% happiness. This video is put together by our talented media team, filmed and edited in-house, just like the rest of our artful media. From our unique creations to our printed lifestyle piece called A Matter of Taste. We put love into everything we do, and we hope to share it with you.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Hey, my name is Dr. Aaron Ernst, and this is a show where pounds are shed, disease is dead, and where you can be set free from your health problems. Hey, I know that I haven't been on the airways for the last 2 weeks. Did you miss us? But we did some special Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, which is now called X, but I'm still going to call it Twitter because if I said X streams, it doesn't sound so good. So here we go. We have been doing a series for the last 2 weeks, but I realize the radio WBT faithful Ask Dr. Ernst listeners may have missed our topics on naturally resetting cholesterol and blood pressure. So today I'm going to do a 2-part Cliff Notes. First half, a good 20 minutes of our show, cholesterol, what is it? How do we fix it? How do we get rid of it if we should, or should we? And, ready for this? I'm going to do a blood pressure activation system. It's going to teach you how to lower your blood pressure so quickly that if you're medicating, I have to put out a disclaimer. Your pressure may drop so fast that you might become over-medicated. And while I am a doctor, a physician, a doctor of natural medicine, a chiropractor, I have to potentially warn you that what I'm going to teach you today is so transformational that you may show signs of over-medicating within a matter of weeks, which means you will need to either talk with your cardiologist to ask, how do I lower them, or get into a program of coaching so that we could potentially guide you through this process. But today's health hour is split into two categories. Number one, I'm going to talk to you guys about blood cholesterol. What is it? Is cholesterol really what we're testing? What's the deal with cholesterol? Why is everybody so freaked out about cholesterol? And most importantly, how do you lower, if you should, your cholesterol naturally to the range it needs to be in? And then we're going to go into blood pressure. Okay, so hey, if you have a question for us, if you are looking for a way out of heart health issues, this is the moment right now. I'm giving away my Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook, 100% free. It has everything I'm going to talk to you about today. It is everything we're going to discuss on the up-and-coming masterclass, Heart Heal Thyself, which is on Saturday. It's a February. It's the 10th. It's at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's completely free. If you have high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, palpitations, arrhythmias, if you have a functional or structural issue with your heart, please download the ebook. It's free. It'll show you things you can do at home now to start getting your rhythms better, your pressure down, your cholesterol down. And then you can join me for the masterclass where I'll show you, get these tests because they find the root cause. Do these supplements because they remove the inflammation. Follow this diet because it's been proven to lower cholesterol and blood pressure, and fix your nervous system, and your blood pressure, cholesterol, and heart things can go away. How do we get this? Real simple, guys. Pick up your cell phone, open up your messaging app, and type in the number 704-906-2094, and then simply put the word heart with your name and email and hit send. Okay, I have an entire team who's dedicated to finding your information, registering you for the events, and getting this ebook delivered to you quickly so you can start pouring through it and figure out how to fix your heart yourself. Again, 704-906-2094, and the ebook is yours for free. Okay, so the first part of the show, look, I don't have a lot of time, right? We're down to, 20 minutes left. Ready? We are going to discuss this myth called cholesterol clogs your heart and gives you disease cardiovascularly. Listen to this. This is from the UCLA Health page, and it says most heart attacks, if you watch this, occur in patients whose cholesterol levels did not, do you see it right there? Did not indicate risk for cardiovascular. That's odd, isn't it? So I'm reading this word for word from you. It was published in 2009. A national study has shown that 75% of patients that were hospitalized for heart attacks did not have cholesterol levels that would have been at a risk. So wait a second. These are people who are literally having a heart attack in the hospital, and the doctors run cholesterol on their blood and say, whoa, this should not be happening. Your cholesterol is normal. Your LDLs, HDLs, everything looks fine. Specifically, listen to this. Patients that had low-density lipoprotein cholesterol levels that met the current doctor's guidelines under 100 and had half of the LDL levels that were within the normal range, right? Most of the people that were having the heart attacks had perfect LDL levels. I'm going to read the quote from the author. This is David Geffen, the School of Medicine at UCLA and the principal investigator in this study. He says this, quote, 75% of Americans that are in a hospital having a heart attack have recommended levels of the LDL cholesterol, which demonstrates our current guidelines are not enough to cut the risks for heart disease. They're saying that even if you have normal cholesterol, you still have a high risk of having a heart attack. So if people in the hospital having heart attacks have normal cholesterol, it makes us wonder, do these things actually mean anything? Look at this one. This is published in 2018, so it's newer. It says LDL cholesterol does not cause cardiovascular disease. Wait a second. Didn't your primary doctor talk to you about your LDL levels and say, hey, John, Mary, Sue, Jack, they're high? They're over 100. You're at risk for cardiovascular disease. You must take a statin immediately. Yet this study says for a fact, LDL cholesterol has previously, I'm reading, been considered to be a cause of atherosclerotic plaque and cardiovascular disease, and statin treatments has widely been promoted to prevent cardiovascular disease. Here it comes, ready? However, there is increasing evidence that the mechanisms are not that simple. There are areas that we're discovering that because we think LDL is cholesterol, we've been incorrect. This is what I'm going to teach you guys today. LDL is not cholesterol. What? I was told that my cholesterol levels are high. Well, they never actually did a cholesterol test. I talked about this 2 weeks ago if you've been watching our live streams. LDL stands for low density lipoprotein. That's it. Low density lipoprotein. Notice it doesn't say cholesterol. It says lipoprotein, fat protein. LDL is a protein that can carry cholesterol inside of it, but it also carries other fats and vitamins and minerals and nutrients. Just so you know, LDLs carry CoQ10 and vitamin E and carotenoids, all of things that are vitally important for your health. So if you drive your LDL levels down with a statin, this is why it doesn't make the cardiovascular risk disappear and go away. Because what do we need for good heart health? We need CoQ10. We need vitamin E. We need carotenoids. We need these healthy molecules that I know are going to come as a shock to you, are also carried with the low density lipoprotein. Now, I know I'm blowing your mind here. Ready? To say that, let's see if I got something at my desk I can do with this. Here we go. To say that this, which carries a microphone inside of it, is cholesterol would be incorrect. This is a case. Do you guys understand this? This case that I'm holding in my hands, if you're on our live stream and you're watching the cameras, you can see it, right? It's a zipper case. Look, I got to make the zipper sound. I don't know, maybe you can hear it. Okay, look, it's a zipper case. I open this zipper case and what do I find? I find a charging cable. I find another microphone. I find some instructions. So guess what? This zipper case is LDL cholesterol. Now, because I have a ton of zipper cases, does that mean I have a lot of microphones? No, they could be empty. This, however, the microphone, the analogy is the cholesterol molecule. See this? They're not testing this. They're testing the number of cases you have to see how much of these you might have. Do you understand the insanity behind this? Low density lipoprotein is not cholesterol. What is cholesterol? It's a sticky, waxy fat substance that is found inside the LDL. Now watch this. HDL looks very much like it. My phone case. It's a case. It looks a lot alike. It doesn't have a zipper, but it doesn't carry the same thing. So the HDL, high density lipoprotein, it can also carry cholesterol, but it carries a different kind of cholesterol. So this is what's most important for you to understand. Oxidized cholesterol is dangerous. HDLs go around and carry the oxidized cholesterol back to your liver so your body can convert it and get rid of it if it's toxic and dangerous and switch it back into healthy non-oxidized cholesterol. Now, your body uses the LDL, the zipper microphone case, to take the cholesterol and give it to the cells of your body. Your brain needs cholesterol. Your heart needs cholesterol. Your muscle tissues need cholesterol. You need cholesterol. So we use the carrier protein. Hopefully you see where I'm going with this. To have your medical doctor say, you have high LDL, therefore you have high cholesterol, is incorrect. The other thing we now know, watch this. The size of the LDL particle is also wildly important. You might have large, fluffy particles that weigh 130 milligrams per deciliter, the measurement of cholesterol, and you're totally fine, happy, and healthy, even though it's higher than normal. And over here, you might have 130 milligrams per deciliter small particles, pattern B as they call it, and these are extremely dangerous because they're small and they can get inside the vessels and cause oxidative damage. This does have risk for cardiovascular disease. This does not. Yet note, 130 LDL 130 LDL. How can one person have the same high LDL and one is okay and the other's at a massive risk? Because size matters in this instance. This is the one moment when size truly does matter. If your cholesterol, fluffy particles are big, LDL proteins, good job, great life. If your lipoproteins are small and dense, bad, bad, bad. Because we know the pattern B is dangerous and it carries almost no nutrients. So here's what I'm going to teach you guys. If you have pattern B cholesterol, how on earth was this created? Like, why would someone have pattern A and someone have pattern B? And to give you an analogy of this, I'm going to use some cultures that generally run pattern A. Here's an infographic. If I can put it on the live stream, I will. But it shows various tribes of natives, and I don't want to say Indians because they're not. Some is African cultures, some Eskimo cultures, some Fijian cultures. But these are people groups that have excessively, horrifically bad diets, according to the American Heart Association, and yet they have almost no cholesterol plaquing in their arteries, and they have almost no cholesterol heart disease. So listen to this. The Maasai, Maasai, you can Google this if you want. The Maasai tribes of Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, etc., mostly exclusively eat milk from their dairy, their cows, their buffalo, etc., that they do raw, by the way. It's a tribe, right? So they have a cow. Some kid says, "Mom, I want a glass of milk." She hands him a bucket and says, go, milk Sue, and there's your milk. The meat they eat is freshly from the animals they slaughter, goats and chickens and cattle and things like that. They have butter that they churn themselves. Their diet is 66% saturated animal fats. In the United States, we would say heart attacks waiting to happen, yet the Maasai as a tribe have almost no cardiovascular disease. Okay, they're in Africa. That's not fair. How about some Americans, all right? Alaska is part of America, yes? Yes. The Inuit Eskimos that are native to Alaska would be technically Americans. Yes. And they are, ready for this, Arctic animal eaters. They eat a lot of fish and whale and fat from fish and whale. 75% of their diet is animal-based saturated fats. Oh my God, a cardiologist in the United States would say, you're going to die of a heart attack. The average Eskimoan, if that's the right phrase, cholesterol is north of 300. Total cholesterol. LDL is north of 180, 190, and they do not have high risks for cardiovascular events as a culture. Why? Because, guys, they have pattern A cholesterol. You guys probably have pattern B. Now, what makes pattern B? This is super important you understand this. Number one, the fats that you eat determine if you're going to be pattern A or B. If you're eating healthy fats, canola oil, vegetable oils, margarine, butter, all those fats that are not supposed to kill you, that causes pattern B. They've actually shown this. I'm going to hold up an infographic. Guys, man, listen, if you're on the airways, if you're listening through 1110 AM or 993 FM, look, I love it. I love it that we're on the airways. I've been doing this now 15 years with them, but you've got to see this information rather than just hearing it. Do we live stream with a camera from our studio here in Charlotte every single week? Yes. Ask Dr. Ernst. That's on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Just type Ask Dr. Ernst in. Click the live stream. This is a shout out. I'm looking at the camera to all of our live streamers. Hey, take a moment. Where are you tuning in from? City and state. Let us know how far this show is reaching because we've had people tune in from other cities, even other countries. A couple weeks ago, we had someone who was tuning in from Ireland. I mean, that's awesome. So watch, ready? The fats that are making your arteries get clogged, causing your LDL lipoproteins to go up and oxidizing your cholesterol are, drumroll please, canola. Ooh, that's a big one, guys. Canola's in everything, even in healthy foods, because the powers to be want you to think canola is good for your heart, and it is not. It is toxic, it is chemically produced, it is rancid, and it's basically poison. Yet you'll find it in your condiments, salad dressings, and packaged foods. Canola is on the top of my list because it's the most toxic, dangerous, heart-destroying oil on the planet. Very highly genetically modified, heavily sprayed with pesticides, and no good. Soybean oil, sunflower, corn, safflower, Grapeseed. I know I'm rubbing another feather for all of our vegan friends who think grapeseed oil is a good oil. It is not a good oil. Margarine, cottonseed oil, and peanut. Those oils will cause your body to become inflamed, and it shifts you from pattern A to pattern B cholesterol. Big, big, big problem, guys. Okay, number 2. We're not eating enough of the fats that are healthy and help us to physically heal. What is a healthy fat? Well, it's the opposite of everything I just listed. Butter. Oh my God, I thought eating butter was heart attacks on a stick. No, grass-fed butter is high in conjugated linoleic acid and butyric acid, which actually is anti-inflammatory and heals your heart and your liver. Tallow. That's the fat from animals, like beef tallow or duck fat and things like that. Ghee. That's clarified butter. Some of the proteins have been removed. It is a more concentrated form of butter. Ghee is fantastic, by the way. It tastes like butter, but it doesn't have as many of the proteins. Coconut milk, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil. Don't cook with olive. Only raw. Don't cook with olive. As soon as you cook it, it turns kind of a yellowish, orangish tint, and now it's a bad fat. And eggs are huge amounts of healthy fats. I put eggs here because a lot of people think eggs are bad for your heart. Oh my God, eggs have so much cholesterol. No, eggs have high amounts of choline and carnitine and healthy fats that help to elevate good LDLs. We need the LDLs to be pattern A. Did you know that the amount of sugar and corn that you eat, corn syrup, corn starch, corn flavorings, corn chips, corn this, corn that, corn tortillas, popcorn, all that stuff will shift you from pattern A to pattern B. Sugar is inflammatory, grains are inflammatory. And the problem with corn today is we have taken corn and hybridized it and turned it into a sugar-producing crop so we can get fructose corn syrup out of it and sweeten all this kind of stuff, right? All your carbonated beverages and your condiments. Look, I hate to say it. A lot of mayonnaise and even some ketchups and mustards and sauces, especially if you like those Chipotle, Bad Daddies, whatever, like spicy sauces and all that stuff, like where they're all pre-made for you. They're sweetening them usually with high fructose corn syrup. Here's the interesting thing about fructose. In your liver, fructose has to be turned into a molecule that is a precursor for uric acid. When you consume fructose, immediately fat generation is turned on by activating an enzyme called glycerol G3P, which is the backbone for a triglyceride. So fructose corn syrup says, hey, triglycerides start cranking. So someone needs to hear this. If you have a fatty liver, high triglycerides, you're eating too much fructose. And fructose isn't just corn syrup. It's also any fruit you're consuming because, grapes have fructose, all kinds of things. Peaches, pears, apples, nectarines, bananas, all have fructose. If you want a list of the foods to avoid and the fats you shouldn't eat, they're for free for you in my Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. This is the secret, guys. Everything you need in here is free. Simply pick up your phone, text the number 704-906-2094, and you can get this ebook for free, and you can join me for the masterclass where I will teach you step by step how to identify your root trigger for your heart, how to clean out your arteries. You heard that right. You can remove the plaque and the calcium from your arteries, and how to get your heart healthy again. If you're wanting to kick a medication to the curb, now's the time. 704-906-2094. We just need your name in your email and the word heart to be texted to my team so we know who you are. All right, I got 4 minutes to tell you how to fix your cholesterol. Ready? Number 1, follow an anti-inflammatory, high-fat diet. I know it's weird, high-fat diet. You've got to do it. I don't have enough time to break down for you the reasons why today, but go back 2 weeks ago. I did an entire show on cholesterol and the diets. Number 2, chiropractic care. Wait a second. Visiting a chiropractor is going to help your cholesterol go down? Absolutely, emphatically, yes. Your liver is what produces cholesterol. If you have a vagal nerve interference, that's a subluxation in your neck, a pinching of the nerve, cranial nerve number 10 that comes out of the back of your neck, it'll stress your liver out and the LDLs start cranking out and you hypersecrete cholesterol. They've even done studies on this. If you get the right kinds of chiropractic care, cholesterol levels can go down. Number 3, intermittent fasting. I've done show upon show upon show about how fasting is the best thing you can do to reset your numbers. So start it and maybe go back and listen to some of our previous shows. Number 4, you've got to reduce your stress. We know that when you're stressed out, it elevates cortisol, which elevates an enzyme that elevates cholesterol production. Find some ways to de-stress your body, like prayer and yoga and arts and crafts and board games, singing, dancing. Find it, whatever helps you. Number 5, your sleep needs to get better. Studies have shown that when you sleep less than 6 to 7 hours, your cholesterol starts to go up through the roof over time. Number 6, magnesium-rich foods. Most people that have high cholesterol are severely deficient in magnesium malate and magnesium glycinate. You take malate in the morning because they both start with M, and you take glycinate in the afternoon because you just do. There's no way that I can connect the G and an A. But the glycinate is in the afternoon and the malate is in the morning. Number 7, B vitamin deficiencies. There is a condition known as MTHFR mutation, which will set up the person who has this mutation for difficulty in absorbing active B vitamins. And we need B vitamins for heart health, plain and simple. The average American, most people, have a subtle SNP mutation of this gene. I've tested this in our population of patients. About 60% of our patients have an MTHFR mutation. So that means you probably do too. Supplement with omega-3s, number 8. They're anti-inflammatory. These are your fish oils. This is why so many people say I take heart-healthy fish oils. Number 9, deep breathing. Less oxygen means more work for your heart. Most people superficial, shallow breathe in their chest, and they're not breathing with their abdomen. They're not getting enough oxygen. So your heart has to work harder to do this. Number 10, ground yourself daily. Not like put yourself in a room and punish yourself. Not that kind of grounding. Outside, in nature, feet on the dirt, feet in the ground to get your body connected to the Earth's electromagnetic frequency, which helps to discharge cortisol stress. Number 11, regular exercise and movement. Look, your body's designed to be moving. Too many of us sit so much. We sit at work. We lay down when we get home. We rest on the sofa. We sleep for 6 or 8 hours. The average person is sitting or sleeping for like the majority of their day. Get up and move. Lastly, number 12, vitamin D. If your D3 is deficient, less than 50, there's research that shows you're at high risk for cardiovascular issues, including high cholesterol. So if you were to fix these 12 things, guess what happens to cholesterol? It starts to reset. LDLs shift first to pattern A. So your number doesn't always go down, but you shift from B to A. Then as you do this long term, you'll see the numbers start to come down. Wow, we did it. 25 minutes on how to fix cholesterol. And now we have 25 minutes on how to fix blood pressure when we come back from this commercial break. Take an opportunity right now to text your name, your email, and the word heart to 704-906-2094. You'll get my ebook for free today. You'll get access to the masterclass, which is on Saturday, February 10th, for free today, as long as you text your name and email right now, 704-906-2094. When we come back from this commercial break, you've got to know this, guys, the Gaussian diastolic systolic blood pressure curve. How does this graph tell you if your blood pressure is high or not? Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind. How can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hey, thanks for sticking around. I know there's a bit of a commercial break with the Ask Dr. Ernst Show, but that's because I come at you with 2 25-minute segments of teaching, education, knowledge. It's the show where pounds are shed. When you figure out the root cause, your body's going to heal and lose weight by itself. Where disease is dead. And we're talking about that today. How do you kill heart disease the right way? Like, I want to get all my risk factors for heart disease out of my body. Cholesterol down, triglycerides down, blood pressure down, arrhythmias gone. You can do that. And then guess what, guys? That sets you free. Not just the freedom of not having to worry about my heart, but freedom from the merry-go-round of medicine and this stuff, right? So many people get their annual EKGs and physicals, and they're always going like, oh my God, I hope I pass the test. You're doing the wrong tests. Let me tell you outright, as a doctor of natural medicine, as a holistic physician, as a chiropractor who's been taking care of hundreds, if not thousands of patients for the last 15 years, and has seen hand in hand, first, I'll call it eyewitness, blood pressure resetting, triglycerides going back to normal, fatty livers disappearing, arrhythmias going away, palpitations clearing, because we don't treat heart disease in the Ask Dr. Ernst clinics. We work on the underlying cause. When you fix that, cholesterol resets, blood pressure resets. Top of the hour today, we did cholesterol. If you missed it, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to download the podcast, listen to it later today, or go get the live stream, hit replay as soon as it finishes so you can rewatch it. We live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and soon to be Daily Motion, Rumble, and some other places. But now we're shifting gears into blood pressure. How do we fix blood pressure? So many people deal with high blood pressure, and the issue is it's because they've been falsely told they have high blood pressure. There it is. I said it. Your doctor told you had high blood pressure, and you probably don't. And the reason for this is the average individual doesn't understand the Gaussian diastolic and systolic pressure curves. I know, right? Did I already lose you on it? It's simply a standard bell curve with what's called deviations away from normal. So let me ask you a question. And hey, guys, all of you on the live stream, thank you for being engaged. During the commercial break, I sat and answered some questions. I love it. But I'm watching the number of people live and the number of questions and going, how come people are just sitting there in silence and not engaging and asking questions? So be bold and be brave and ask a question. So my turn, ready? And I want someone to do this. What is normal blood pressure? Man, I wish I had Jeopardy music I could play right now. Like, doon, 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 doon. What is normal blood pressure? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, I know this one. I got it. Normal blood pressure for 2000. 120 over 80. You are incorrect. You missed the mark by a mile. That is the average blood pressure when they test thousands of people. This graph will show you the results of testing thousands of people that had no blood pressure medications, and they found out that the statistical average, 62% of people will have 120 over 80. Does that make it normal? No, because I have to teach you this thing about standard deviations. And if you're any good with math and statistics, you might know this already, but you can be a +1 or a -1 deviant, deviating away from normal. A -1 deviant has normal blood pressure that's 110 over 70, and a +1 deviant's blood pressure is 130 over 90. That's me, guys. My average blood pressure is 130 over 85 to 90. So guess what this means? I am a deviant. I am not normal at 120 over 80. So if I go to my physician and ask them to test my blood pressure, my doctor's going to say, hey, Dr. Ernst, we got to talk about your pressure. You're at 130 over 90. This is a little high. I want to run it again and see what happens. Okay, do the other arm. 130 over 90. It's still a little high. Let's do this. I want you to sit back, relax, breathe, zone out. We'll give you some meditation music. Take a magnesium supplement. I'll come back in 5 minutes. Guess what, guys? 130 over 90. My pressure is always 130 over 90. Now, my wife, on the other hand, she's quite petite. She's 5 foot a couple inches, and she's always 100 over 70. Always. She could run a marathon, rest for 5 minutes, 100 over 70. And that doctor's going to be like, well, hey, you're really good. You got low blood pressure. You don't have to worry about heart disease. Be careful. Be careful. There are the +2 deviants, more rare. And a +2 deviant is 140 over 100 and still normal. Now, a +1 is 32% of the population. 120 over 80, the average is 62% of the population. So my question to you is, what kind of deviant are you? And don't just jump straight to your medication. Guys, I have all of this listed with information on how to fix your blood pressure in my Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook. It's yours, free. All you have to do is say, I want it. Please give it to me. And if you are looking to drop your blood pressure medications so fast, your doctor's going to be shocked and say, oh my God, I don't know what you're doing. You've got to get off your meds now. Text the word heart plus your name and email to 704-906-2094. Guys, it's that simple. I'll send you the ebook for free. You've got all the information that I'm talking about today inside of here, plus supplemental recommendations, diet guidelines, and the tests that we use to find root cause. Because I'm going to show it to you this way. If you're at 140 over 100 and you are not a standard deviant of +2, that is high blood pressure. So we got to figure out, first of all, what is your normal? And the only way to do that is to not be on a medication and find out where your pressure is. Now, let's say it's super high, 140 over 100. The question now that we need to ask is, why is it so high? And what do most people blame for having high blood pressure? Well, the number one thing they blame is your diet. And they'll say, oh my God, you're eating all the bad foods for your heart. You know what I'm talking about, right? Butter, coconut oil, salt, saturated animal fats, steaks, hamburgers, right? Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, you have to go vegan to get your blood pressure to come down. No, you don't. You need to eat the right kinds of fats. Not all fats are bad. We talked about this at the top of the hour, and I'm going to only spend 3 seconds on it. Get our good fat versus bad fat list. Whoa, Dr. Ernst, where do I get the list? Oh my God, I want this now. Yeah, it's in the ebook. So download our ebook, 704-906-2094. The list of the fats are there. The cultures that have like super high levels of bad diets that have no heart disease are there. You can read, you can learn. It's all free. Name, email the word heart to 704-906-2094. Okay, salt. I knew you were going to say, Dr. Ernst, it's all the salt. My doctor said I should stop eating salt. They're right slightly. Processed chemicalized sodium chloride, white table salt. Yes, I agree. You should get rid of that stuff. But it doesn't just mean get rid of it if you have high blood pressure. It is a chemically produced synthetic salt that doesn't exist naturally in nature at 100% sodium chloride. Go pull the ocean, dehydrate it down, and get the white salt. It's not 100% sodium chloride. Go to the mountains in the Himalayas and dig down and find a salt vein and pull the salt out and analyze it. It is not 100% sodium chloride. Natural, nature occurring salts are not 100% sodium chloride. Yet, Morton's salt is 100% sodium chloride, which is very toxic. What happens is the molecules cleave apart. You have chloride and you have sodium. High levels of sodium will stress your kidneys out and cause you to retain fluids to balance and buffer your pH because you got a lot of sodium, and that causes your blood pressure to go up. Has this been researched and proven? Yes. We know that white table salt is toxic and dangerous, but that doesn't mean all salts are dangerous for your blood pressure. Fun fact, did you know that Himalayan salt is pink because it has high iron content and other minerals in the salt? So instead of sodium salt, we have lithium salt, we have potassium salt, we have magnesium salts, we have iron salts. All this magnesium, iron, phosphorus, potassium, lithium salts are good for your blood pressure. So there are actually studies showing that if you increase your Himalayan salt intake, you can lower your blood pressure. Now, last week I had somebody say, well, I don't like putting salt in my food. How can I get the salt in my body? And I talked to a couple people about doing something crazy, right? Because, at the Ask Dr. Ernst Show, we like to shock you with awesome results, with things you've never heard of. I'm holding up in front of you a porcelain device that has a red dot on it. And this is what's called a salt inhaler, guys. You can get them on Amazon. They're like, I don't know, $14, $15. There's a little thing in the bottom. Can you see it? Those of you on the live stream. Little tiny holes poked in through the ceramic and a section where you can pop open a stopper and actually pour ground Himalayan salt inside of this. Now, you don't want to do the microscopic grounds. You want coarse grounds. So you fill this whole thing up. Ready? I'm going to do this live for you. How can I increase my healthy Himalayan salt without swallowing it or without salting my foods? Well, we're going to inhale it. I know you think it's nuts. Ready? A salt inhaler will help you to lower your blood pressure. How do we do this? First, we pop the thing off the bottom. We pour the ground Himalayan salt chunks inside of this, coarse ground. We pop that seal onto it. You put your finger over the top of it, and you shake it back and forth very rapidly. Can you guys hear this? Maybe you can. Shake, shake, shake. Okay? You're causing those granules of the salt to rub against each other and break off little microscopic pieces. Then we take this thing, we wrap our lips around it, and we inhale through our mouth. Ready? Guess what? It's salty. I can taste it. Ooh, it's rather salty. But ready for this? I just inhaled the salt particles into my lungs. Why do I care so much about getting salt in my lung to lower my blood pressure? Because your heart has to push blood into your lungs. And if your lungs are inflamed, guess what? Blood pressure can go up. Number two, you want all these minerals in your blood quickly. We have to absorb it through our stomach if we eat it, and then it has to get into your blood. Your lungs will push the salt directly into your blood, and the blood from your lungs goes to your heart first, then it goes to your body. I know you're going to think this is nuts, but inhaled salt therapy using pink ground Himalayan salt has been shown to lower blood pressure. So how easy is this? $15, one-time purchase, ground salt. I bought this thing like 4 years ago, guys, and it's still full to the brim of these ground salt molecules. So you could start inhaling. How often can you do this, Dr. Ernst? You can do it as often as you want. Seriously? Like I can bring it to my office? Yes, just, people are going to look at you and think you're funny, but tell them, you know what? My blood pressure is going down and yours isn't. Just kidding. Haha. But you could teach them how to do this. Guys, it also helps to decrease inflammation in your lungs. It helps to increase your oxygenation. There's so many things that ground Himalayan salt does to lower your blood pressure. Okay, a couple other things that you're doing wrong. You think going low fat, high carb is healthy for your heart, right? The American Heart Association says get rid of salt, get rid of fat, and replace it with whole grains, carbohydrates, and fruits, carbohydrates. So they're going to teach you to carb yourself up to lower your blood pressure, yet that couldn't be further from the truth. Sugar, no matter its source, no matter if it's from grains or if it's from fruits or whatever, is inflammatory, and that causes blood pressure to go up. So we want to, number one, eat the right fats, the good ones. They're in our ebook. You can grab them. Number two, we want to start salting our food with Himalayan salt. Salt your water with Himalayan salt. Inhale Himalayan salts through salt therapy, chambers, salt spas, or an inhaled salt inhaler. $15 on Amazon. How do I find this thing? Literally type in salt inhaler. It's that easy. Himalayan salt inhaler, and you'll find it. If you want to get the exact same one, look for the one that looks like this with the red dot in the center and order it. All right, here's the shocker that nobody's going to talk to you about. Two big things that can cause blood pressure to be off the charts. Number one, you're subluxated. The same nerve that controls your liver, the cranial nerve number 10, the vagus, controls your heart. But here's what's unique about the vagus to the heart. It is the brake. It's the parasympathetic control. Your vagus nerve slows your heart down. Your sympathetic nerves that come out of the upper part of your back, thoracic 1, 2, 3, and 4, they speed the heart up. And God built your body this way. You have a gas pedal for your heart and you have a brake for your heart. The brake is in your neck. The gas pedal is in your upper back. Now watch this. Ready? If your spine is out of alignment, causing a subluxation, which is pressure on a nerve, that nerve loses function. So if you subluxate, it's a fancy term for meaning if you irritate or put pressure on your vagus nerve, you will interfere with the brake. Imagine if I went out to your car and I cut the brake lines and you go drive away, and then when you come to a red light and you want to stop, you're like, boom, and you get into an accident because of the fact the brakes were cut. So ready for this? Imagine your heart's ticking along and everything's going great, and then all of a sudden you need it to slow down and you push on the brake and it doesn't work and the pressure goes up and the rhythm goes up. This is the cardiovascular neurological connection. Guys, the University of Chicago years ago did a study to show if you get the right kind of chiropractic therapy for your neck, I have to describe the right kind, and you remove the pressure on the vagus nerve, your blood pressure can drop immediately by 10 points systolic and up to 8 points diastolic. It takes 2 blood pressure prescriptions to do that. So wait a second. One chiropractic adjustment to the neck, and you get the effect of 2 medications. What the study didn't say is that the medications are also toxic, can destroy your kidneys and your liver, but that the chiropractic care was completely safe and had no side effects. So I think it's way better to see a chiropractor and get the right kind. So let me take a couple minutes on the right kind of chiropractic. Just like everything else, there are great dentists and there are horrific dentists. There are good medical doctors and there are bad medical doctors. There's good Chinese food restaurants and there's terrible ones. You see the analogy, right? There are some chiropractors out there that, God love them, are not doing what they should be doing, which is real chiropractic care. How do you know the right kind of chiropractor? Be careful, because just as it says chiropractor above the sign, and because they have a doctoral degree and because they have a clinic and because they see patients, doesn't mean they're doing the right kind of chiropractic. You have to be, number one, subluxation based. It means they look for, find, isolate, and remove subluxations in the spine. Some chiropractors work on joints like your wrists, ankles, knees, feet, and help you increase your mobility. And while that's fantastic, that is not subluxation-based chiropractic. Some chiropractors focus on neck pain, back pain, headaches, blown discs, and pain-related conditions. And again, that's fantastic, but that's not subluxation-based chiropractic. Subluxation-based chiropractic means you're looking at the energy coming off the spine no matter how you feel. You could be pain-free and still be subluxated. So those pain-based chiropractors would say, well, we don't need to work with you. So imagine if I walk into a pain-based chiropractic clinic and I say, hey, doc, nice to meet you. I'm a chiropractor. I need someone to adjust me because I can't do it to myself. Can you adjust me? A pain-based chiropractor is going to say, sure. So how much pain do you have? I have none. Do you have any disc issues? No. Do you have any sciatica, numbness, tingling, or headaches? Nope. They're going to say, well, what are you here for? And I'm like, I want you to adjust me. And they're going to be like, well, I don't really know what to do because I take care of people in pain and you don't have pain, so you're not my average patient. That's one way of finding out. Number 2, do they do tests to look for nerve interference, not tests to find out how bad you hurt? Sitting down on your back or sitting down in a chair and lifting your leg and having them say, hey, do you feel any numbness, tingling in your feet is not a test for subluxation. Turning your head all the way to the left and leaning back and asking them or having them ask you, do you feel any numbness and tingling in your arms when you do this is not subluxation detection. Can you reach down to your toes and do you feel any pain in your back is, again, not subluxation detection. Having them press on your spine and say, does it hurt right here, is not subluxation-based detection. So that kind of a chiropractor is doing a great service for their patients to get them out of pain, but they're not looking for subluxation. The only way to find a subluxation is to use testing equipment. You have to have a spinal thermography, which looks for heat coming off your neck and or your back, to zoom in on the area and say, wait, this section is hot. Then you have to have an x-ray taken with a special system that measures the angles, the positions, and the measurements of your spine against normal to score the amount of spinal stress and decay. And then you need to do specific structural measurements of each nerve channel to find out if they're open or closed. This is what we do, guys. This is why our exam process is much more involved and can take 3 or 4 days. And a lot of people come to our clinics and been like, okay, so like I get it, you have to do an exam, but am I not going to be treated today? And we say, no. It's going to take us at least 6 to 8 hours to digitize your spine and measure all 48 channels and reference them to normal and find out which one is out of alignment. Then we have to have you come back, go through the reports and teach you because you think pain is subluxation and it's not. We have to educate you. This is how your spine was built. This channel's supposed to be this big. Yours is only a third of that size. Here's the nerve that's going through it, and it's actually damaged. And do you see this? And here's what it's doing. And that's your vagus nerve, and this is why your blood pressure's off. Then we have to test it. We have to give you one structurally specific chiropractic adjustment to see how your body responds, and then we have to re-x-ray it. What? Within the same service? Yep, because we have to see where were you, one treatment, where are you, and did the joints open? Did the spine move back to its normal position? Did the thermography improve? And is your vagus nerve now visible and open? Unfortunately, not all chiropractors do that. And it is what it is. But we are specialists in subluxation-based neurological restoration. And this is why so many of our patients have kicked blood pressure in weeks. In fact, I had a patient this week pull me aside and say, hey, I'm getting lightheaded, dizzy, and my blood pressure is uber low. So remember, I went, okay, where is it at? Well, when I started to see you, I was at the 135/95 range while medicated, and I'm now at the 100/65 range, and I'm getting lightheaded and dizzy. What does that tell us, guys? Fix the underlying root cause. Blood pressure started to reduce by itself, but he's taking the medication still. Now he's getting lightheaded and dizzy because he's over-medicated. That happens because of structural-based chiropractic care, removing subluxations from the vagus nerve. So that is the number one most overlooked cause of high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And if you want more information about the tests I just mentioned to you, in your ebook, turn to page 7 or 8 because you'll see there's the nerve connection to your heart. There's a thermography and how you can read it. You turn the page to the next page, and what you'll find is an example of the X-ray analysis we do to measure subluxations, some before and after photos so you can see the test that I just talked to you about. In the middle, the one we did before, to the side, the one we do afterwards. That's one treatment looking at the differences to see how well the body's responding. And then we start to go into the next layer, which is toxicity, heavy metals, pesticides, etc. So again, if you want this ebook for free, which will describe to you the testing, the process, the diet, the supplements, and everything you need, 704-906-2094. Just text your name, the word heart, and your email, and it's yours for free, and you get access to our up-and-coming masterclass on Saturday, February 10th, where I would love to teach you what causes cardiovascular disease, including the hard stuff, palpitations, arrhythmias, even things like SVTs and atrial ventricular tachycardias, all the weird stuff. Echocardiogram shifts, ejection volume fraction drops, all of it. Okay, if you have a heart health issue, we're going to survey you. We're going to ask you, what do you want to know? And I'm going to teach you specifically on the webinar how to fix it. The number 2 cause, guys, that is overlooked is vitamin and mineral deficiencies. I've got 2.5 minutes to do this, but we can do it real quick. Potassium, magnesium, calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin K. The top 5 supplements that you shouldn't just go run out and take. You should get tested to see what your levels are and then fix which ones are deficient by taking only what you need. See, so many people go out and they're like, hey, they walk into said shop, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? The store that sells vitamins. And they walk in and they're like, please give me something to lower my blood pressure naturally. And these educated salesmen and women will be like, yeah, we have like this blend over here. And, it's really good. And people say it's great. But that's not what you need. You need to figure out where you're deficient. Potassium deficiencies can disrupt the electrical balance in your heart, leading to high blood pressure. Did you know that? Magnesium deficiencies play a crucial role in the relaxation of your blood vessels, so constricted tight blood vessels will cause your blood pressure to go up. Calcium is essential for the contraction and the active mobility of the heart muscle itself. Calcium deficiencies can cause elevations in blood pressure. Vitamin D is associated with hypertension such that if you're deficient, blood pressure goes up. Vitamin K is needed to prevent you from clotting and causing a thickening of your blood, which can cause blood pressure to go up. So before you just run out and start sucking down these supplements, why don't you start eating more spinach and avocados and pumpkin seeds and green leafy vegetables and fatty fish and eggs and butter and milk that's raw, not the milk you guys buy in the grocery stores. The challenge here in the state of North Carolina is raw milk is illegal. And that's a whole show. We could controversially talk about that. Why on earth would the government make raw milk illegal? It's because it can lower your blood pressure and help you to heal. Vitamin K, kale, spinach, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all of these things you should be getting from your food anyway. But if you really want to do this the right way, you have to test. Hey guys, we've run out of time. I'm getting a flag that I need to stop because they're about to kick my show off. Download the Heart Disease Heal Thyself ebook now. It's yours free. Text the word HEART, your name and email to 704-906-2094. And I'll see you guys next week for another healthy Ask Dr. Ernst show. Hope you were blessed today. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.